Tell you what, folks, you know I'm on holiday. I walked into a bar tonight to watch the boxing, and my first thoughts were, and I used to be an avid follower. I used to absolutely love the boxing, and I really, really mean that. I used to love it, really did. Goes in there last night to watch it. Atmosphere's great. It's really loud. The TV's loud. Get a great seat and whatever else. And I'm watching the build-up, and I'm thinking to myself, my initial thoughts were, you can't polish a turd. That really is a great saying, that. It really is. And then I'm thinking, well, you can. Because they're putting on a great show. I don't mean the boxing, I mean the pre-boxing, all the hype before it. I don't like seeing all that, I'd rather see just the boxing. But when I say about not being able to polish a turd, what I mean is this. I think boxers of today, or the bulk of them, are crap. I think the superstars of the game have gone. I really, really do. And I think that's the old git in me, the grumpy old git in me. I always think things were better as they were than as they are. Although I must admit, with most things, they probably were. You know, I look to the days of like your Eubanks and your Bens, and I'm watching all the hype yesterday and all the build-up, and I'm thinking, if they can give this build-up to these two, what kind of build-up would you get for Ben and Eubank back in the day? Unbelievable. I know they used to sell out places, but I'm thinking, could they have done Wembley like that last night? And maybe they could, but they were much better fighters than those last night, much better. I'm making all these assumptions before I've seen the fight, more about the fight in a minute, but I'm thinking, the heavyweights of today, they're not that great. I mean, DUBOIS, I barely know him. I've heard it said that he quitted his last two fights. Mind you, one was against Usyk, who we're now realising is the best heavyweight out there. And the other, I believe, he's got a fractured eye socket. Well, other folk might not have realised he was that ill, but he knows when he's in the ring how bad he is. And quitting's not a bad thing when everything's gone around your eye. He's done no wrong there whatsoever. None at all. So he's obviously not a quitter. Alright, he's not the media darling because he's not a talker, he doesn't like the interviews and hasn't a lot to say, he doesn't sell the game. It's just his way. You know, AJ does a bit more of that, he's a bit more media savvy, and he's got old Earn in his corner. So they love to talk, like Maureen used to say. But I felt sorry for the boy a little bit, and for all I've not followed the fight game for many a year, I always thought he had a great chance, because I've always thought, you put AJ in with most fighters, he knocks them over. You put him in with somebody of a bit of class and with a big punch behind him, and he's got something of a chin. And so I think it proved last night. But as I say, build up, great. But I thought for the wrong boxers. That's before the fight started. And then, I mean, when we watch the fighting now, I tend to watch Tyson, I do, because he's a bit of VFM. That's probably the only one I really watch. But near the end of the fight, he grabs that mic and I think, oh, here we go again. Is it going to be the old Neil Diamond classic that every bugger sings, or whatever it's going to be? I don't want to hear him doing it. He's not got the world's best voice. That's what I used to think. Last night, I'm thinking to myself, what on earth is this all about at the start of the show? Now, I know it's in Wembley, and I know it says on there something to do with the Far East and whatever else, Riyadh or wherever. I know they've got a lot to do with boxing now. I know the big wheels behind it. But who's that bloke singing that song? Now, I'll ask you this, folks. How many of you knew the words? How many of you sung along to the words? How many of you downloaded it? Do you think he'll get to number one? I'm thinking, what's it all about? None of us knew what he was singing. We're in England at Wembley. We've got two English boxers ready to fight. And this bloke with something on his head, I don't want to say a turban because I don't think it is, and I don't want to offend. I don't want to say he's at a burqa because I think that's what the women wear with the old post box thing there. I don't want to say a tablecloth because although it looked like that, I know it's not called. I don't know what it's called, but he's got a sheet or something on his head. He's obviously foreign. He's singing in a foreign dialect, a song that I've never heard in my life. And I'm thinking, what's it all about? What on earth is it all about? For all they've got all the money in it behind it, what are you singing that for? I mean, I'm somebody that does me head in every time they sing the national anthem before a fight. They sing it before everything now. I like rugby league. We play France. France are crap. Rugby league, that is. And they sing it before that, and I'm thinking, oh no, not the national anthem again. But I'd rather have that than some bloke with something on his head singing something I've never heard of in my life and I'm never likely to again. Absolutely stupid. Anyway, they do that. The fight starts, and I've got to say, great fight in some respects. Really enjoyed it. Felt really sorry for AJ some of the times he got it, because he got it hard. The final knockdown, I was wincing, especially when his legs completely gave way and didn't know whether he was coming or going. And I thought DUBOIS fought very, very well. But the big uptake I've got from that fight is this. Well, I asked myself, what are AJ's trainers doing? Either, one, they don't know the stuff, or two, they're not as big a personality as him and they're afraid of going against him. Because I'll tell you now, if somebody hits you in boxing that hard in the face on that many occasions, the biggest thing you've got to do is get your guard up and work from behind a guard. AJ's got his hands nearer his waist than his face, all the way through. And he said to Dubois, come on, keep it in me. The only person that can do that, even after being floored, is the great Muhammad Ali. He could do it. He could glide around the ring. He could put his hands in his pockets and not get it. Because he was a superstar. AJ can't do it, and he's got a glass chin. Ali didn't have. And I'm thinking, why on earth are you not fighting behind a guard? Absolutely crazy. I don't know. Yes, I have boxed for a couple of years, only amateur, but still, I know what I'm talking about. You need your guard up. You don't keep saying someone come and hit me. But anyway, great way to end the fight. I mean, I felt sorry for the young lad at the end, Dubois, because I don't think he was the favourite. I don't think many expected him to win or wanted him to win. For all his with these two top promoters there, I mean, the main guy doing all the talking is Earn, because he does. And I'm thinking to myself, when it ended, and he's not media savvy, the interviews weren't great. He did more of thanking the Lord than anything else. He did it about 3 times, I think. He obviously didn't want to talk, but he didn't really know how to celebrate. I don't know if the win shocked him, or if he just thought, I'm not supposed to be the winner tonight. He just didn't know how to celebrate, and I felt sorry for him. Yet at the same time, you could see he was genuinely concerned for Joshua, which I was pleased to see. As he knocked him down and he got announced the win, he tried to get over to him to make sure he was okay, but they wouldn't let him. Anyway, good luck to the lad. I thought he fought well. He's definitely got a future. Would I let Joshua carry on? If he was my fighter, definitely not. Knowing Earn as I do, I think Earn will be after a rematch. We heard something of the old interview with Dubois, and then they knocked the feed off and put music on. So we didn't hear what Joshua said and what his promoter said. But I'm sure his promoter's going to want a rematch. I'm sure about that. Especially being as how now old Mr. Warren's got Dubois along with Tyson. He'll hate that, will old Earn. He's not got one of the top 2 Brits anymore. He will hate that. He'll want to get in on the party. Especially now there's a lot of candy about from the Far East there. He'll want to be in on it. He won't want to be out in the cold. So I think he'll be pushing Joshua for a rematch. And I'm not so sure Joshua should be going down that route again. Not against that fella. He was good last night. He was really good. So, the polishing the turd analogy I stick to, but that said Dubois is better than I thought he was. Do I think boxing's any good today or what it was years gone by? No, I still don't. In fact, to that end, I was saying to somebody last night I was out with, I'll tell you what, if you think boxing's good now, go and have a look at The Four Kings. It was released a couple of years ago on History Channel. It's been on a few other channels. All Americans, your Sugar Ray Leonard, your Hagler, the Hitman Earns, and so on and so forth. Is it Duran? I think it's Duran. Go and watch that. And as I said that, I'm looking at the paper today, and I think we're making an English one. And I think it is Eubank, Ben, I think Bruno and Lennox Lewis. And that's something else I said last night. That's what AJ is. He's another Frank. He can knock them all out, no problem at all, but against someone of real class, he gets knocked out himself. Lewis wasn't like that. Lewis was the best of the 3, by far and away the best of the 3. Anyway, I'll leave it with you. What do you think? I'm sure you must watch boxing a lot more than I do. I don't think it's the sport it was. I really don't. But I used to love it. I really did.